Hi, my name is Mark Ellis from Stick and Rotor Studios, and what I wanted to do is just give those X-KeyPad 1.5 beta users an opportunity to get a preview of where I'm going with the new user interface for X-KeyPad. I think, as most of you probably know, what we're trying to do with X-KeyPad is make it so that you can completely define your configurations using a user interface rather than the CSV file format. Now, at this point, I don't have the key editor done yet. I'm going to be starting work on that next, but I do want to show you some of the drag and drop and file capabilities that I've added to the new UI that will allow you to rearrange keys and import them from templates and things like that. So what we have right now is I'm in the SF50, and I've just created a new virtual device. And as you can see here with everything grayed out, I actually have no keys defined whatsoever. And what I'm going to do is try to show you how you can use the new file system to open up templates and other configurations and then copy keys from those configurations over to this aircraft one. Okay, so the first thing you're going to notice is that we have a little file menu here, and in this file menu we can create a new configuration. We can open up an existing one, we can save it, we can do a save as. This is particularly useful if you want to create templates. You can do an append, which what append will do is it'll import an existing configuration right into this one. So rather than opening it, it just sort of like includes it like what it include to. And you could do a clear. And also, if you have multiple files open, this will let you pick which one's the active one. So as an example, if I came up here and I did a new, what would end up happening is I'd see two configurations, one for the SF50 and this new file one, and it's got a check mark next to it that tells me that's the one that's active. Okay, and you can kind of come over here and hover over this little question mark, and it'll tell you what the current active file is. So let's start off saying that what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to close this configuration, and just to make sure I'm back on the SF50. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up an existing configuration from, say, the Cessna 172, and I'm going to try to drag some keys over and use them to make a new configuration for the SF50. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do an open. And I'm going to go to the aircraft folder, Laminar Research, Cessna 172. And here is my X-Keys JSON file for the 172, and I'm just going to open that. And now we've got that open. And again, to look at it, we're really right now looking at the Cessna 172, but if I were to come back over here and pick the SF50, you'd see it goes back to all blank keys. So again, let's go back over here to the Cessna 172. And let's say, as example, I would like to copy some of these key definitions. And a good example might be I want the keypad here. So what I can do is I can go into copy paste mode, and then there's little check boxes over the top of each of the keys. And I just select the ones I want. And once I've got them, I need that one too. Once I've got them all selected, I can just come up and say edit, copy. And now what happens, it puts it into a paste mode where I can paste it. So now I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to go to my SF50 and I'm going to paste that keypad where I want it. And I do know that it's, I think it's 3 wide and 4 high from where I picked it from. So I'm going to paste it right here. And what it does, if you have multiple keys selected, it pastes them relative to whatever the lowest key value was that you picked. So I could actually come in and paste it again over here, and it would put it there. I'm just going to clear this, and I'll put it back over here. Okay, so that's how you could do a copy and a paste. Now here's another interesting thing you could do. Say, for instance, I don't particularly like where these keys are. I want to rearrange them a little bit. You can also put this into a drag-drop mode. And in the drag-drop mode, you have a couple of choices. You can copy a key as you drag it. you can move it or you can swap it with an existing key. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a move, okay? And let's say as example, maybe what I do is I want this minus key here. I want it down here, right? And maybe in this example here, I don't like these two. I want the 0 over here and the 1 over in the dot here. So now what I could do is I could come in and I could put into swap mode. And now if I grab this key and I just bring it over here, it's going to exchange them. So this gives you an idea of the kinds of things that you can do, with rearranging keys and importing them. So let's take another example. I've got a, let's see, let's do this. Let's do a new one. And let's get it out of this copy paste mode. And let's see, right now I'm on new file 2. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do an append. And I actually happen to have a CSV file that I want to append. And I happen to have it in my plugins, X-KeyPad include folder, and it's the radios. So here's my radios that I've appended, and again, they're in this new file 2, which I'm not really going to save. I'm just using this kind of a scratch pad, okay? And what I can do is I can copy these guys. And let's see, we'll just take the primary radios here, okay? I'll copy them. I'll go back over to my SF50 and decide where I want to put those. And let's say maybe for now I'll paste them right in here just to kind of get them going. Now, maybe I don't like where these are. So again, I can come back up here. I can go into drag mode, and I'm going to do simply a move. And let's see, maybe I want this up here, and I want the transfer key underneath it. This one up here, transfer key underneath it. So you can see I can completely rearrange these, to the way that I like them. Okay. And now that I've got that set up like this, this is my SF50. I could just come up here and do a save. And now if I reload that plane, this is what's going to come on up. You could also do this, say as an example, I kind of like this and I want to make this to be kind of like a template going forward. You can always come up and do a file, save as. And, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go to resources. I mean, you can put it wherever you want. Plugins, X-KeyPad. And I want to go to the includes folder. And I'm going to select that folder. And then I'm going to make this be my template.json. Now notice it still kept the SF50, but when I did a save as, it created a new one here, okay? And I could start to close these down. I don't need this anymore, so I could close that one. I can come up here. I don't need that anymore. I can close that one.
Engine stop.
Right? And now that I've got this template, I don't really need it anymore, so I could close that too. And as soon as I close the last one, it should go back to the to the SF50, which is my aircraft definition. So that kind of gives you an idea of the types of things that you can do with this, with the file system and the, cut, copy, paste type thing, and also the dragging the keys around. So the next thing I'm going to be starting to work on is the key editor, where you'll be able to select a key and it'll bring up a new UI, and there you're actually going to be able to do things like define the colors and the labels and all the different data refs that you're doing and formatting the labels. And that will all be done in a user interface very similar to what we have with the X-Touch Mini. And as a matter of fact, for some of you who don't have an X-Touch, you may not actually have seen what that looks like. Let me bring it up here. I think I've got an X-Touch definition here. Yeah, so here's the UI. This is what you're going to see here is very similar to what you're going to see in the X-KeyPad UI, where, you know, on the X-Touch Mini, I've got my encoders over here. You know, I've got my button definitions, you know, and as I pick a particular button I want to define, you'll be able to do things like put in the name, you'll be able to put in the command that you want to operate on. You know, in the case of the encoders, you know, that could potentially be done using a numeric data ref. Here I'm doing it with commands, but you could switch it over to using a data ref. I think I do that on the course, maybe not. Heading bug. That uses a data ref. You'll be able to define the data ref, current value, be able to do things like, you know, searching for data refs using the integration with the data ref tool. So, you know, what you see here is very similar to what you're going to have in the key editor for doing your X-KeyPad definitions. It's a similar concept. And so where you used to have to do things all by editing CSV files and, you know, hunting and pecking, it's all going to get done in a UI very similar to this. You know, you'll just pick a key and you'll come in here and you'll do the definitions that you want for it. And I'm going to start working on that next, and hopefully within a week or so we might have a beta version that's got the full editor all available. Okay, so I hope that you like this. I give you a little bit of a preview of where we're going with it, and if you have any comments, leave them in the forum. Thank you very much.